Hey guys, welcome back. I'm a little horsey today, so just bear with me. I lost my voice from watching a hockey game, and it's not fully back. So this is my Ribbon Road bracelet. It is reversible. It does want to lay on this side naturally, but once you get it on the wrist, if it's not too loose, it will lay on this side and wear just fine. So we do have to do 2 transfers today for a full-length bracelet, or that's what I'm doing in the video. But if you're not a fan of transfers and you have 3 looms, then you can make a full-length bracelet without a transfer. I will tell you how far down the loom to go and all that good stuff in the video. But for now, you will need 165 bands. The breakdown is 21 of the glow-in-the-dark clear, 16 of the glow-in-the-dark blue, 40 of the burgundy, 40 of the orange, and 48 of the neon green. If you're using more or less than 3 colors, the breakdown will be a little bit different for the colors. So let's go ahead and get our band, C-clip, your loom, and hook, and we can get started. So to get started, you will just need to have 1 rainbow loom, and you want them set up in a normal staggered position with the arrows facing away from you. If you want to avoid doing an extension today completely, then you're going to need to connect 2 more looms in front of this one. So you'll have 3 total. So we are going to go ahead and choose our first color. That's going to be the glow-in-the-dark clear. I'm doing this exact color combination for these colors, but I'm going to switch the center a little bit so you guys can see it better. So I'm going to grab white, and I'm going to lay that first one loose on the center pin for when we temporarily close it later. And then the next one is just going to lay going straight normally. Now keep that color close by, but now you're going to choose the blue that's on here. I'm going to use purple for that. And we're going to lay the shape of a kite. So we need to wrap it around all 3 of the bottom pins. I usually start in the center. So you wrap it around the left and the right, making an upside down triangle, but don't let go. Stretch it up to the second pin in the middle. Well, it's actually the 3rd pin if you're including the first one. So 3rd pin up in the middle row. Push that down some. Go back to our first color. This is where our purple ended. So we're just going to back up 1, which you'll be able to see that's where our last white ended. Our next white will connect there. And from now on, we're going to stretch up 2 pins with the white. You'll see it goes 1 past that purple one. This is where my last white ended, so I'm going to back up, and this is where my next purple will start. We're going to alternate between laying the white and the purple. So remember, with the purple, we need to lay the kite shape, so we go to the left, to the right, and stretch it up in the center. You should always see that space after laying the purple. Back up 1. That's where our white will start. Don't forget to stretch it up 2 pins. Push it down some. I'm going to go back to my purple. I'm going to locate my last white. I'm going to back up and start again. I'm going to back up from there and lay my white. A little bit of a tip that you guys can have is when you start laying your next color, you should be starting to lay it from where your last one ended. So I'm on my purple right now. As I go to lay it, I'm starting right here, and you can see underneath that that's where my last purple ended. So that's another way that you can look at it. So I've laid my kite with my purple, and now I'm going to stretch my long white and go back to my purple. And my white, and 1 more purple. So the kite shape is the last band that you will lay. You can see that my last white ends 1 pin short of the end. That's exactly how it should look. That space is exactly what we want. So go ahead and take a second and push all of those down, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do next. So now we're going to choose the little ribbon colors. I'm going to alternate between 3 of them. I'm going to start, my very first one is going to be this one, the neon green. You can use as many colors as you want. But you'll just have to follow my direction later to make sure things line up when we do the transfer part. So what we're going to do is just fill in basically like the bottom part or bottom half of the kite. So from the center pin, we'll go diagonal left. We're making like a sideways V. Bring it into the center and then repeat the same on the right side like this. So just making a little diamond. We'll come up to the next purple, the bottom half of it, and we'll fill that in as well. So now I'm going to switch to my next ribbon color, and that's going to be burgundy. So this is where I laid my last one. Locate my next purple kite band, and I'm going to fill that in right there. My last color I'm going to use is orange. If you end up using just 3 looms, it is way quicker. This is a really fast bracelet. It's just doing a transfer. You just kind of have to break the bracelet down in a process, so it takes a little longer. So we're just going to keep alternate our colors. Alternating. I don't know if I said alternate. But we're going to keep alternating and going down the loom. Okay, so after that, we are going to push down all the bands on the sides so that we have a little bit of room. We need to add triple cap bands to the sides of all of these. But the key here is the bands have to be doubled. So you're going to get 2 bands of whatever color you're working on, and we're going to lay a triple cap band. So I already started my very first one here. You can see how thick it is. I'm going to show you on the next one. So I grab whatever color I'm working on. I grab 2 bands and we wrap it around the pin 3 times. Now this can be a little painful on my nails as I keep doing it over and over. So I'm hoping if you don't have these kind of nails that it won't be a bother to you. But if you don't want to do the double banded version, you certainly can just do a regular triple cap band. I'm going to show you in 1 second how that looks. So you can see on this bracelet here, the little balls on the side are just much smaller. And when we take it off of the loom, a lot of times this band, because this band is not locked in, can end up popping over the back side. So you would have to go through each one and fix it. I don't notice that happening when I use the double bands, which is why I decided to do that. So that's the only thing there. Or you can even lay 1 triple cap band at a time. Lay 1 and then lay another on top. That does change the look a tiny bit because I did try it. But I'm just trying to give you some options in case you don't like doing it this way. Or maybe all of you think I'm crazy and think it's easy. I don't know. But we're going to go ahead and get each one of these pins triple capped. And I will show you mine when I am done. So all of mine are completed. This is how it's looking. So we're going to go ahead and turn our loom around. We're going to grab 1 more of our kite or purple color and place 1 regular cap band on this front pin down here. It's just 1 single band wrapped around once. Well, twice. We're going to grab that cap band and we are going to stretch it to the pin next to it. That is just to hold it for a minute so it doesn't pop off when we actually start looping. So we're going to actually start looping it out now. So we're going to go into that cap band that we just stretched over. We're going to grab the bottom purple, the only band that's in there, and loop it to the pin above. Now we need to loop out of the cap band on the side here, so the orange. Now, this bracelet's easy, but these cap bands are very tight. So that can be a little frustrating for people maybe. So I'm going to start on the left side, and you have to make sure you're getting in front of all of the cap bands and making sure you're grabbing this diagonal band right here. So that's why I'm leaning my loom to the side. Make sure I'm in front of all of those cap bands, grabbing that diagonal orange and just looping it to itself, which is down to the middle. All of these orange bands, well, all of these ribbon bands get looped back to themselves. So we'll go back into the cap band and now grab the top orange and loop that to itself. We're going to come over here to the right side and we're going to do that same thing. So push back your cap band, grab the first orange that's in there, carefully loop it down. I have to turn my loom to kind of do that, sorry. Go back into the cap band and loop the next orange up, like so. So this is where we stopped adding the orange on. So we're going to back up one, and we need to grab the very bottom band that's in this pin. So there's a lot of layers you have to move. Make sure you're grabbing the most bottom one, that's my white one, and loop it forward. Once you loop it forward, we need to flip over all 4 of these top orange bands. There's 2 on the right, 2 on the left, but this first one here is by itself. So I grab this first one, flip that, then I grab these 2 since they're together, and I flip them, excuse me, sorry, and then I come back over to the right and grab the last one right here. If you have a way of grabbing all 4 at the same time, go for it. But that's just how I've been doing it. So after that, we are going to come to the side here where this purple is. We're going to grab this band, lift it up and over the pin. Once you clear it, just let it go and let it get caught right where that pin is. It's just going to sit on top. Oh man, you guys, I'm sorry that my voice keeps doing that. We're going to come to the left and do the same thing. And you just want it to sit right on top like that. You don't want it to go popping off the back here. So that's the only thing you want to be careful with. You also don't need to pay attention to whether the purple is staying on the bottom of the white or if it pops on top of that white. That doesn't matter. So after you do that, we're going to go into this pin and we're going to grab the very bottom purple, loop that up. And now we're going to loop the burgundies out the same way we did the orange. So I always start on the left. Make sure you get in front of all those cap bands and grab the diagonal burgundy that's facing down and loop it back to itself. Go back in and loop the one going up and repeat on the right side. Like so. We're going to back up from where we were just working, and we're going to go inside and loop that white bottom band up. It's the most bottom band on there. And now we are ready to flip over the burgundy band. So these 4, there's 2 on each side, remember? So I'm just going to grab this one, and then I grab these 2 and this one. Like so. Come over to the side, and we're going to grab this purple kite band and lift it up and over. And up and over. We're going to keep repeating that. So we're going to come up to this pin here. We're going to start by going into this pin and grabbing the purple, looping that up. We need to loop our cap bands out. We're going to back up one, and we're going to grab the very bottom white band and loop that forward. Once you do that, we need to flip over the 4, I apologize, the 4 neon green bands. And then we're going to come on the side and flip the purple. We're going to come into this pin here. We're going to start that again by grabbing the bottom purple, looping it up. Loop your orange cap bands out. We're going to back up one, and we're going to loop the bottom white band forward. And then we're going to flip all of our top oranges over. come to the sides and flip your purple over. We have 2 more of those to do. So don't forget to loop your purple forward and then loop out your cap band. You're going to back up and grab the bottom white band. Loop that forward and flip your top burgundy band over. Grab the side kite purple band and flip that over on the sides. And do that one last time for now. We're going to back up and loop our bottom white band forward. We're going to do the same thing and flip our top 4 bands, my neon green bands, and flip the purple over on the sides. So we are going to grab a C-clip, because we do need to temporarily close this off and get it off of the loom. But we're going to locate that loose band that we laid there, bring both ends together, and temporarily C-clip this. You do need to use your hook to release all of the cap bands, like this. So go down your loom and release all of them like that, and then you can carefully pop each section off the middle, but you do want to do it section by section and slowly. I'll show you how I do it. So I grab right on top of the ribbon and I pull up. Then I let go and I come underneath of it and I pull up for the next one. And I try to really be holding it close to the little ribbon when I'm pulling it off. So once you take it off, you're going to see that it immediately wants to roll to the back side, which is this side, which is fine. But we're going to go ahead and we're just going to place this little piece to the side right now so that we can do this all over again. So we're going to grab our loom, and you guys, we are going to do the exact same thing. And when I say exact, I mean exact same thing that we just did this time. For transfers, it usually never works out that way, so I'm really happy about that. So I'm going to move my loom out of the way. I'm going to bring this loom over, and this is the first part that I started with you guys, where we alternate laying the white and the purple. Remember that part? We have to do that again. So once this is laid, we can reconnect our bracelet. But for those of you who don't remember what we did at the beginning of the video laying this, I'm going to put a timestamp right here. You need to get your loom filled out up to this point where we have all of our purples and whites laid on. And then we will both meet back up here, and I'll show you how to connect the bracelet on. Okay, so once you guys are caught up and have your loom set like mine, we're going to turn the loom around facing me, or yourself, and you're going to grab your little piece, your bracelet. You want it facing up like this, where you can see like the chunk of the colors in the middle. You do not want to attach it on this side. So make sure this side is face up. We are going to grab our hook. You're going to locate your C-clip up here. We're not going to be putting our hook through that single band, that white single band. We need to pull the C-clip. And do you see the purple and the 2 whites right here? There's 3 bands. That's what we need to put our hook into. So I do like to kind of stretch it with one hand, get my hook, and go right through the center of the purple and the 2 whites. Like that. Make sure you're through the center of all 3. Just showing you all angles. Once you know that you have them all on there, go ahead and remove that C-clip and the band. You're going to get your loom. Again, make sure that it's face up as you go to attach this. we're going to connect these 3 bands onto the very front pin. Make sure you get around the entire pin. Before you let these bands go, we need to also stretch up to the pin above and connect it up here. So it's like that right now. Now we need to bring the top 2 bands back down here because the only one we need to connect it there was that white one. So after we do that, I push this down a little bit to give me more room. I pick up the top purple and the top white. So the top 2 bands, pop it off of that upper pin and just bring it down and let your hook go. And it will sit where it's supposed to be. It doesn't matter the order of the purple and the white down here. We just need them on this pin. That's it. That's all you have to do to attach it. So now you can turn your loom around and you can finish filling out the loom with our ribbon bands. Now I do want to point something out to you guys. You're going to lay the colors exactly the same way you did the first time if you're using 3 colors. But if you're not, I want to show you something. You can see right here that your first one attached is green. So if we were going according to my color scheme, my next one that should be right here when I lay them should be what's after my neon green, orange. So you see I have neon green, orange, burgundy. Neon green, this will be orange, this will be burgundy. This will be neon green, this will be orange, this will be burgundy. This will be neon green, which is exactly what I laid the first time. I just want to show you how you can work it out mentally going backwards if you're not sure, or if you're using like 2 colors or 5 colors or what have you. So just work it out backwards so you can make sure if you're starting from here that you're starting with the correct color. For me, since I'm using 3 colors, I'm going to be doing the exact same order that I did the first time, which is, like I said, the neon green, burgundy, and orange. So go ahead, just like we did the first time, and get each one of the bottom halves of the kite filled out with your ribbon bands like that, and I'll be right back. So I know I'm going to be a good bit ahead of you, but I have all of mine laid out. I even like to double check that my colors are correct so that they're not messed up and make sure that it lines up. Mine does. So now you're just going to go ahead and remember for the triple cap bands, you have to have 2 bands. So grab 2 bands, triple cap them on each one of your sides, and then I'll be right back. Alright, so I have all my cap bands on there. This is what it looks like. Once you're caught up, turn your loom around, and we're going to start looping. I'm just going to get you started, and then you guys can finish looping it. If you need to watch the previous instructions, then you can go ahead and do so, but I do want to get you started down here. So I like to stretch this bracelet back a little bit just so I can see a little more, and I hold it with my thumb. We're going to start by going into this pin right here. We're just going to grab the bottom purple and loop it forward. And now we're going to do everything the same like we did the first time, looping out our orange bands, bringing them back to themselves. Remember, they all go to the middle. Then you're going to back up a pin and go in here and loop up the bottom white band. We're going to flip the top 4 orange. And then we're going to flip the side purple. Now you're going to do that all over again, starting in this pin here. Start by looping up the purple, and then you will loop out your cap bands, and you will continue on and loop it all the way up until you reach the top, just like we did in the first section. If you feel like that you need to loom step by step with me, go to this timestamp right here, and you can finish looping up with me. Otherwise, I'll meet you guys back here when I reach the top. Okay, you guys, I know I'm going to be way ahead of you, so just hit the pause button. Once you're caught up with me, we're going to take this off the same way we did the first time, locating that loose band, bringing both ends together, temporarily C-clipping this, and then don't forget, you definitely want to use your hook to release the cap bands. And then you can carefully remove it section by section from the middle, and then I will show you how we can do our last section. Okay, so really quick, I just want to show you guys something so you guys aren't panicking. We may and probably will have to fix some of these bands over here. I pulled mine off kind of crazy, so it got messed up. But I want to show you where we connected it. You might think, oh no, right here. So we just need to make sure that the purple band is sitting on top here. So we're going to push that white band down some. And this purple band that's sitting right here, you just want to pull it on both sides so that it's sitting on top, and then I push it, the white, down with my finger and it tucks it in. Now for these ones up here, see how it's kind of like stuck in my little cat band there? You just want to push it into the center so that the cat band is outside of the purple. See how my cat band is caught inside of there? I usually wait to the end to show you that, but I don't want anyone panicking. So that's how we do that. But we need to do one more transfer. So you need to grab your loom again. And we have to, once again, lay the bands the exact same way that we did the first 2 times. But this time, we're not going all the way to the end of the loom. We need to lay 4 of them. So you're going to do everything the same, laying your loose white band, that first short white one, and then alternating your purple and white until you have 4 purple kites. And if you want to count to make sure you have the correct white, there's also 4 white bands as well, including the short one. That does not include the loose one. So go ahead and get this laid until you have 4 of these kites. If you need to reference back to the beginning of the video to see how I laid this, go ahead and do that. But once you're caught up with laying this part, go ahead and hit the pause button. Once you're caught up, turn your loom around. We're going to grab our bracelet. Make sure it's face up where you can see the chunky part of like the ribbon bands. We're going to pull that cat band and we're going to place our hook through all 3 of those bands that are sitting right under the C-clip band. Once you know that you're through all 3 of them, pop that C-clip off. Remove that band. So this time, since we're not at the end of the loom, it might be a little trickier to get attached, but we need to get these 3 bands right here attached to this purple pin down here. And then remember, we also need to stretch it up to the pin above it. So make sure your bracelet is facing up, that you have all 3 of those bands on there. I'm going to locate my center pin that has that last purple on it. So I attach it on and then I push my bracelet down in here to kind of hold it. And then I stretch these 3 up here like so. You're going to grab the top 2. So it should be 1 purple and 1 white. Take it off of that upper pin, bring it back down and let it go so that it's down here. The first time I told you the order didn't matter with these 2 bands, but if you don't want to have to worry about fixing it later, have the purple be the one that sits on top. If it ends up getting mixed up, we can fix it later like I did already. Okay, so once you do that, we will turn our loom back around and we need to finish filling the loom out. So we need to fill the bottom portion out with our ribbon bands. But once again, you have to figure out the order. You will not start with the same color we did the first 2 times. So you're definitely going to need to look at your bracelet down here and see how here's my green. So after my green, well, before my green, because the bracelet is actually backwards right now, I have orange. So I just look at the previous rows. I have green, orange, burgundy, green, orange, burgundy, green. So I know that this will be orange, this will be burgundy, this will be green, this will be orange. So lay it out. Do the same thing that I just did. Work it out. And as you're saying it, green, orange, burgundy, lay them out so that you end up laying them in the correct order. Hopefully that made sense to you guys. I'm going to go ahead and get all of these little diamonds laid out. I'm just going to do one more quick to show you. Like so. Get each one of those filled out and then triple cap the sides with double bands. And I'll meet you back here. So it will look like this after you have all of those laid and the triplicate bands added on. So I'm sure you're still doing yours. So once you're all done and caught up, we'll turn the loom around and we will loop it for the very last time. We're going to do the same thing we did the first 2 times. So in this first one, it might be a little crammed. I just tucked my bracelet into the pins there. I'm just going to push in here and you're going to grab the bottom purple. Just make sure, see how that white band keeps wanting to fall like in my way? Make sure you're kind of coming to the side of the pin. Actually, you know what? We are going to pull on the bracelet a little bit. That way it straightens it. See how it's straight now, not in my way? Now you can go right down in the center and grab that purple. So if you're having a problem grabbing it like me, just stretch the bracelet a little bit and it fixes it. Now we can let it go. And now we will continue as normal. Like we did the first time, we're going to loop out our ribbon bands. We're going to back up and loop the bottom white band forward. Flip your top 4 ribbon bands over. And flip your flip your purple side band over. We'll go back in, looping our purple, and continue. This is all the same as the other 2 times that we did it. So I have 2 more left. I'm going to get them done really quickly and I'll meet you guys back here. Okay, so I'm at the top of mine, way ahead of you guys, but just like we did the first couple times closing it off, we're just going to bring both ends together of that loose white band at the top, and we will attach our last and final C-clip. We finally made it to the end. I know with the transfer process, it's like never ending. Don't forget, use your hook to release the cap bands and carefully remove the middle, and I'll show you mine when I have it off. Okay, so I just want to reiterate in case any of you weren't watching earlier, if any of your little cap bands are trapped like that, you just need to push the purple into the middle and pull the cap band out to the side. Once I have them untucked, I do like to pull on them to help the center like lay a little better. Because it can get a little messy after tugging on it. So once you clean it up to your satisfaction, you're going to locate your C-clip and your cap band down here. Bring both ends together. And voila! There you have my completed ribbon road bracelet. So that is the back side. This is the front side technically. You can wear it on either side. It does wear a little better, or at least wants to flip to this side better. As I said in the intro, you can wear it on this side as long as you don't make the bracelet too big. But that is it, you guys. That is how you create it. I hope it wasn't too long or too challenging for you guys. If you make it, don't forget to tag me on Instagram at @LovesToLoom. I really am very interested to see if anybody beads it like in the middle of each ribbon. I meant to do that. I thought about it a couple different times and then forgot to do it. So hopefully one of my blingers out there would do that. But that'll be it for today. I thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next tutorial. Thanks, guys. Bye.